But if you want to use your firearm to commit suicide, you just take the lock right off. I do think that storage. In fact, I know that this isn't a theory. A locked firearm it is good. You can't, kids, keeping it away from kids.
That's all it's good for.
That's all it's good for.
Hey, if you own a gun in California, you should have an attorney that specializes in California gun laws. On your speed dial, by the way. Because if you ever have legal matters that involve firearms, you need California's firearm lawyer, John Dillon, especially if you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. Our trusted firearms attorney is John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws. Put his number on your phone right now, 760-642-7150. That's John Dillon, California firearms lawyer, 760-642-7150.
So I don't know if you heard, but there was a very sad and horrible tragedy in FallBrook about a week ago, last Monday. A 3-year-old found somehow, we don't have all the details. There's still an investigation going on. A 3-year-old found a loaded firearm and shot I believe it was his sister, who was 1 year old. And obviously, she did not survive. Which on Tuesday, when we were at the county board meeting, that came up a lot, and as if anything that the county was proposing would have
changed.
Helped. Yeah. So we don't comment on a lot of stuff. I got to tell you, when we first started San Diego County Gun Owners, anything happened and we'd issue a statement. And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't make sense that we're not associated with these problems. We're the solution. We're not the problem. We don't need to comment on every bad thing that happens in the world. So I stopped doing that because I felt like it almost fed into it. If there was some kind of mass murder where a gun was involved, and we feel the need to apologize for it, which we never did, but it kind of felt that way, right? Like we are somehow. It felt like we were taking responsibility for it, which we're not. That has nothing to do with us.
I would wait for them to come to you for a comment, like news media, TV.
Yeah, anyway. So I just kind of. But we did issue a statement here, and I wanted to read the statement. Storing your firearms where kids can't reach them isn't just a good idea. It's the law, and failure to do so should be prosecuted to the fullest extent possible. It continues on, but, let me just keep going.
Yeah,
News reports say that a 3-year-old child in FallBrook obtained a loaded firearm and used it to tragically take the life of a 1-year-old sibling on July 17th. There is no excuse for such a tragedy, and it is never okay to allow such a young child to access a loaded firearm. There are still so many questions to answer. Where were the parents? Why was the firearm unsecure and within reach of a 3-year-old child? What is without question is this is a violation of California Penal Code 25-100, which makes it illegal to store a firearm where a child has access to it. And SDCGO is supportive of this law. No matter where you reside in California, you cannot store a firearm in such a way that a child can use it. Owning a firearm is every Californian's right and a great responsibility, and making sure that children are safe from your firearm is the responsibility of each gun owner. In addition, the County of San Diego passed a storage law that applies to the unincorporated areas of the county, including FallBrook. The county's regulation was sold to voters as a, quote, solution to tragedies like FallBrook's recent tragedy, requiring firearms to be secured by lock or safe at all times unless the gun owner is actually touching the firearm. SDCGO opposes this additional storage law because it potentially hinders people from using their firearm in self-defense. It is far too intrusive, and it doesn't do anything additionally to help kids because we already have Penal Code 25-100, and it doesn't work as evident by the horrible tragedy. So what would work? As a group, gun owners in the United States have an excellent record of safety and are law-abiding. Carry permit holders, for example, commit fewer crimes than the general population and fewer crimes than police. It is rare that an accidental life is taken, but it is so sad and tragic when it happens. It is important to strive to do better. Additional education on best practices for gun owners and youth, and that education should be presented by respected Second Amendment organizations so gun owners will listen. Yet another law, AB 2571, signed by Gavin Newsom, prevents respected groups from advertising classes of any sort that would educate children on what to do if they ever found a firearm. In the same way, children are taught to stop, drop, and roll in case of fire. Responsible gun owners teach kids to stop, don't touch, leave the area, and tell an adult if they find a firearm. We will never know if a class would have helped a 3-year-old, but we do know education on stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult has helped kids when they are able to hear that message. San Diego County Gun Owners is calling for an investigation and prosecution of the responsible parties to the fullest extent of the law, enforcing this existing state law that requires firearms to be stored in such a way that children cannot access is important to the law's effectiveness, and every single gun owner should be educating their children regardless. More so, AB 2571 should be repealed so that we can more effectively teach kids what they need to know to stay safe. Instead, anti-gun owner laws by extremists in office aren't helping our children. In fact, they are hurting the very ones we mean to protect.
Very good.
So the statement there is, whoever is responsible for letting a 3-year-old have access to a firearm, whether intentionally or unintentionally,
Need to be prosecuted.
should be prosecuted.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yep.
And this law that prevents us from teaching kids needs to be overturned. Because, Tuesday when we were in front of the county board, there was all this talk of, like, geez, this horrible tragedy just happened. See, we need to pass more
gun laws,
storage,
right.
gun locks, whatever. There were at least 2 laws already in FallBrook. One, there was state level, which means that no kids can access, no prohibited people can access. And 2, the county already passed a regulation, and, it didn't work.
Yeah, but see, 10 laws are better than 1 law.
Yeah, I know.
And they can all be the same.
I know.
It's okay.
It's really, really, really illegal.
That's because we're really, really stupid, and they just don't think we can read 1 law and understand it.
These legislators, I think, are the same parents that give their kids to the count of 3 before they have to listen.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. Because, the first time you tell them, you don't
Yes.
really expect them to listen.
That's so true.
You got to give them like 2, 3 before you actually expect them to comply.
That's a good idea.
But I think this is this was a unique situation. I think it warranted a statement, and I believe our statement of prosecute the person at fault.
Right.
That we do support the penal code that prevents people from storing a
We've
firearm.
never not supported.
Well, there's one
law.
thing is, the other side, the anti-gun folks, the Moms Demand Action and the Brady organization. There isn't a gun law out there that's been proposed that they didn't love. There's not one time that they've said, well, this one goes too far. We don't even support
Oh,
this
no,
one."
no. The more the merrier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We, on the other hand, are the reasonable ones, where we say, hey, you know what? Okay, that law is not too intrusive. This other law, that's too intrusive.
Right.
But this law, not too intrusive.
You know,
And I think it was important to make that point.
and Alicia's got an excellent idea.
What's that?
The next time you go before a city council, you ask the question 3 times in a row. And they're going to want to know why you did that 3 times in a row. He says, well, you're like a child. We have to ask you 3 times before it'll sink. Don't you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Would I be thrown out?
No.
Yes, I would.
No, you should try it.
I should.
Yeah.
I like the other one just staring at him. I still think that would have been a good one. I really do.
Well, what did you think of the statement, though? Do you
I
think
think
it was an important point to make?
That's one thing. Well, your passion really comes out when it's important. It really is. That's why I like your mic drops. I know they take you forever to do, but they're so on point because you really think out the topic, no matter what it is, whether you're driving over a bus with somebody or driving somebody over with a bus or even giving accolades. You really do think it out extensively before you speak, which I think is what everybody should do.
Well, and I think this statement did exactly that.
Trust me, I totally agree.
I think a lot of people, oh, no, stay away from the, no.
Oh, no, you
we
can't.
Need to, this is the, this is something you absolutely, this is the crucial time to stand up and give
You
a
can't
voice.
pick your battles in situations like this. You got to do, you got to talk about them.
And you can't just show up at the easy ones.
No, because everybody will know that the minute it happens.
Now, we don't have all the details.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, but come on.
But what detail could possibly exist?
To change this?
But I got to tell you, this is, and who knows? I have no idea, the parents, I don't know if they were, who knows?
But, stop and think. Alicia could appreciate this. Kids can get into everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's a little kid that finds a weapon and figures out not only how to shoot it, but aimed. I mean, it is insane when you stop and think about it.
Well, I do. So, they're trying to, these gun storage, gun locks, gun storage, safes, etc. They don't stop criminals.
No.
If a criminal finds a gun with a lock on it, guess what he does? He takes the lock off.
I mean,
That's
hello.
it. And okay, now he's got a gun. It doesn't stop criminals.
No.
There's not a criminal out there that would find a gun and go, oh, it's got a lock on it. Oh, well, I'll come back.
Oh, yeah, this is really at the house I don't want to be.
So the gun locks, and safes take, 48 seconds to pop open. All safes do are keep real honest people honest.
That's it.
So they don't stop criminals. They don't stop people that are committing suicide.
No.
Maybe there's a case to be made that if you have your
2 minutes,
your firearm secured and someone wants to use your firearm to commit suicide and they can't get to it, maybe there's a case to be made. But if you want to use your firearm to commit suicide, you just take the lock right off. I do think that storage, in fact, I know that this isn't a theory. A locked firearm it is good. You can't, kids, keeping it away from kids.
That's all it's good
That's
for.
all it's good for. And that's really what the intention was.
Well, I was talking to somebody the other day about guns, and they were saying it was a kid I had on KUSI TV because I was promoting, not me SD, and I was promoting our program.
Sure.
And he goes, when I was little, he says, I was taught at a very, very, very young age. You see it, you don't touch it.
Yeah.
And he says that as I grew up, I could walk by and see a gun on a table. I didn't think nothing of it. But what do you do to a child if you say, don't touch that and hide it? They're going to go look for it because you got them excited. You want to know what is it?
1 minute.
Why can't I look at it? Why can't I play with it? But if you expose them to them and teach them it's not a toy, don't touch it, and do it realistically, then he told me as he grew up, he says and he shoots to this day. He says, but when I was a kid, I never touched it. I never fooled with it unless we went to the range.
Think about that forbidden wing in any movie. That's where the people always want to go.
Yeah.
You make it off limits, they're going to want to find it.
I know. It's the weirdest thing.
Anyway, that's our statement. You can find it on our website. We sent it out via email. It's covered by press a little bit.
Just a little bit. Oh, KUSI.
But I really, truly, we are going to continue to follow up on it and see the details and make sure that the guilty party is prosecuted. And I'll tell you, the anti-gun folks won't do this.
No. Nope. They'll just want to know the law.
Because they're not. There's zero sincerity with
That's
them.
exactly.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.